All right, let's just give it a few seconds. Let me tweet that we're live now.
Okay, tweet that we're live. Okay, you ready? We're starting with the guitar. Who knew?
I'll say copyrighted.
Well, it's not. If we that would suck so hard.
It won't. It's not Twitter.
We haven't even started yet. So just let me know when you're ready to go.
We are live.
We're doing it. All right,
we're live.
Let's do it. Okay, Trey.
The chorus.
Go. Let's do it. You ready?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Mama like a wagon wheel, rock me, mama, anywhere you feel. Hey. It's a little off. Rock me, mama, like the wind in the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. There it is. Look at that.
I don't know if that worked.
It worked.
Anyways.
Is this an NBA podcast? What are we doing? What's happening?
Not an NBA podcast anymore. This is a Darius Rucker podcast.
This is a Darius Rucker old.
And if anyone comes in to the show and asks us to play a song, we are legally obliged to play a song.
I don't know about that. Because like that's like the one
chords are on tabs.
That's
the tabs.
I mean, yeah, but like that's the one thing that I know, like off the top of my head, that I don't like need any preparation.
If you have tabs, you can search any song and they have the chords for it.
I got you.
Amazing. But anyways, this is a basketball podcast.
What's it called again?
Skywalking through Darius Rucker.
Skywalking. I love that guy.
Yeah, it's cool. Hootie and the Blowfish. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. You know what? This is just happening right now. But anyways, thank you anyone for coming into this show. Wacky Wednesdays. So thank you for coming in. We're going to talk about some basketball. There were NBA finals last night between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. And Bill and I had a little bit of a wager who was going to win. Bill said the Suns were going to win by 9. I said the Suns were going to win by 15, and they ended up winning by 13. So 118 and 105. So I will claim that dub.
I think you should. Like, and here's the thing: if you had bet on that, I think you would have won some money.
I can't because Florida, it's not legal here,
and it's not legal here in Kentucky. And like that's the problem with Kentucky. They're like, whatever is happening the rest of the country, Kentucky's about 15, 20 years behind. So all the tax revenue that's going to legal weed, for gambling, for all that stuff, it's going to Indiana. It's going to Ohio. Ugh, gross. I know it's going to Tennessee, which if you're in Kentucky and you have the song Wagon Wheel coming on, when it does the Johnson City part in Tennessee, you don't say just Tennessee. You say Johnson City, fuck Tennessee. And you can quote me on that. Fuck Tennessee. Because they're not very.
What did Tennessee ever do to you?
Let's see. They beat Kentucky in football for like 30 years in a row. Florida also did that. But I do like Nashville. Nashville is really, really fun. One of my favorite memories ever is from Nashville. I went to the SEC tournament for when it was Jamal Murray's year at Kentucky, 2016, I think. And from the hours of like 9:30 a.m. to like 6, it's just a blur because I had too many John Walls and we had a good old fashioned American time. And the funny story behind that is, I was a junior in college and like my dad had asked me to do something that weekend and I like had lied to him that like, oh, I can't do it. I'm going to go visit my best friend Gavin in Bowling Green, which is like an hour outside of Nashville. I was really going to the SEC tournament. And I had really, really good seats. And I was right behind the bench. And of course, there's a dumbass foul against Kentucky on the first game of that Kentucky played in here. I'm gonna show it in the chat, or I'm gonna show it here. In on the live chat or the live feed.
Really?
I got on ESPN and I literally like because I was right behind the bench and they caught me saying, "What the fuck?" So like, and I immediately got like tons of texts like, "OMG, I just saw you on TV." And then of course my dad finds out and it's not great, but like that's just like my kind of luck though. Like I go to have fun and then like I get ESPN calls me out.
I had a similar thing happen to me.
What
I went
happened?
to see Texas versus Providence in Providence, Rhode Island at the end of 2019. And Texas got absolutely dicked on live TV. And I had courtside seats. So I'm sitting there with a bunch of priests because they're the Providence is called the Friars. And all these priests are like doing this shit to me. And I'm just like there on TV like, oh man, this sucks. And I'm just like surrounded by all these Providence fans. The only Texas guy in that whole state of Rhode Island probably. It was terrible. And Texas just got clowned.
Well, I mean,
clowned.
Rhode Island is, I know it's a state, but it's basically just like a
It's
big
just where
county.
Family Guy is.
Yeah. You know, that's basically it. Like that's what else is Rhode Island known for?
It's tiny size. I don't know.
And Providence. So
yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
Also, Providence is like the number one like mafia city in America.
I mean, that makes sense.
Like, yeah. I found some stuff out about it that was kind of
like
surprising.
What's
Just
some,
like my friend's
some
dad,
Providence
my friend's dad went to Providence.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, yeah, this place that we're at now. I used to come to this deli. The guy every Tuesday at 4 has 4. And his name is like Schmitty, and he would like bring in a suitcase full of money and like hand it off, and then they would just leave." And I'm like,
okay,
Providence, Rhode Island, like what's a random ass place to have like it be a mafia capital of America?
The Sopranos actually take place in Providence. I don't know if you knew that.
The Gabagool capital of America.
You know, the Gabagool. This is a very common thing.
Freaking Gabagool.
You know, it's Italy versus England in the Euro League. So that's what this is. Anyway, are we what's going on? Like, what are we doing?
There's not a lot to talk about, so we're ad-libbing right now. Basically, there's two things to talk about. There's the Rachel Nichols thing, and there's the DeAndre Ayton thing, which was DeAndre Ayton played in a game of basketball, and they won because that's what he's supposed to do as an athlete.
Right.
And then there is the Rachel Nichols thing about, just like casual racism in the workplace. Not really too much going on.
I kind of, in my head, like I've really thought a lot about the Rachel Nichols
and
thing.
then the Jimmy Butler stuff.
What happened with that exactly? I heard some like innuendos, but like I don't want to get into it if it's just that's all it is. What
the rumors are. Oh, this is a light news week. The rumors are that Jimmy Butler and Rachel Nichols had relations in the bubble, and Jimmy Butler had multiple noise complaints, and he was. I don't even want to talk about this, but anyways.
Were they wearing masks? Like that's the real question.
No, he got in trouble for it, and then like Karl Anthony Towns got in like a little verbal thing with him this season, and then he said, "Go ask Jimmy Butler." He said, "Go ask Rachel Nichols," and it was like, what does that mean? So it's just been an interesting week on Twitter. If you guys don't know, basically what happened with Rachel Nichols. There was audio that came out with her where she basically said, this woman, wait, hold on. Let me just pull up the Rachel Nichols article so I don't get anything out.
I do want to have a serious discussion about this because I think that we're dealing with a lot of different very, very serious issues wrapped into one thing. And like when you're dealing with issues like this, I want to be as thoughtful and as, there's a lot of nuance happening here. And I just want to give this the due that it's worth. Because, I think that we try to be as welcoming, try to be the best allies that we can. And I think that we need to be that. We have to have a frank discussion about it because, You
First,
can't.
I want to just say what happened in case people don't know like what we're talking about. So basically, Rachel Nichols is the host of The Jump on ESPN. It's a basketball show that she hosts every day. She was formerly at TNT, and she's under fire basically for a video that came out where she was talking about Maria Taylor, who is hosting a lot of like NBA on ESPN stuff. Like she's there with Jay Williams and Woj and Jalen Rose, covering the NBA Finals. And basically what happened was a leaked video came out of Rachel Nichols saying, like, look, Maria Taylor is pretty, she's young, and she's like good at her job, but I don't want her replacing me. Like, I don't want her to come around me just because ESPN is facing backlash for not having enough black people. Like, she shouldn't get her job just because she's black. And it was like, whoa, like, you don't say that shit. And then she was talking to a guy who was associated with LeBron James, and she was like talking about the Me Too movement, or he was talking about the Me Too movement and Black Lives Matter, and they like laughed at it. So it was a really bad thing. And then her apology video, she basically just starts off by saying, like, you know, in journalism school, they told you never be the news. And she never really apologized. And then she was there with Richard Jefferson and Kendrick Perkins. And Kendrick Perkins was just like, Rachel, you did nothing wrong. And it was just like, it was like this bullshit. And it was like she didn't even apologize. And Maria Taylor was so good at her job. And like the person that brought this whole situation to ESPN got fired. So it's just like, it's just a really bad look for that. And she still is like hosting The Jump, and she hasn't had any like repercussions. And she
Didn't they take
fired.
it? I thought that they
didn't air it on Monday.
Okay.
And that was it. And then it was back Tuesday. Or maybe they canceled. No, they canceled on Tuesday and aired it on Wednesday. So it's just like, it's just stupid. But like, she needs to get fired. Like, she shouldn't have a job after this, in my opinion.
You know, here's where I'm at with it. You're dealing with a sport that is predominantly black men. You're dealing with ESPN, which they're forever. Their frontward facing like talent has been predominantly white. The people that they put in positions of power are all white. There were already problems to begin with. You know, the talent that's, you know, that are doing all the shows, you know, Jay Williams, Jalen Rose, all these other people that we've been talking about are black. And to like, it's a hard dynamic to already be in. It's already something that, you know, and I want to say this first, like we're a bunch of white guys talking about race, which I think we can have a discussion about it, but like it's just, I just want to put that out there first. But I think what's the worst part to me is that like Rachel Nichols had championed Maria Taylor like in a public face, like when she talked about her in public, like, oh, Maria Taylor's awesome. She's this great journalist. She's this great talent. But then in private, you talk shit about her and say that she only got there because she's black. Like, you can't do that. Like, that's so counterproductive to what we need to do. We spent the past year having this racial reckoning. You can't do that. It's so disingenuous, especially doesn't Rachel Nichols come from a well-off family,
a privileged, yeah, her family is like,
so to her even say that is just, I can't get over that kind of privilege. I can't get over that kind of just stupidity to say that. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And you have to say something if you're ESPN at this point. You just do. Like you said, she didn't even really apologize for it. She needs to. Like, I think that you would begin to start like having some sort of credibility if you apologize and you acknowledge, like, hey,
she did apologize, but it was just hollow as hell.
And like, Kendrick Perkins, what is he doing? Like
I think ESPN thinks that people who play basketball like are really good analysts, and it doesn't translate for like 95% of the athletes. Like, I mean, Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy are terrible on the call, in my opinion. Like, I think they suck. Vince Carter is the only one that's like not terrible on ESPN.
I like Jay Williams.
He's a former player. I think Jay Williams is stupid. Jalen Rose is awesome, but Jay Williams is really dumb.
I don't. No. I don't agree with that at all. I think Jay Williams, and maybe this is just because I'm a college basketball guy, and he does a lot of college basketball. And
At least in the NBA, I don't think he's.
I think he brings. Too much. I think he says the player perspective, especially from college, a lot, and I think he's an important voice when it comes to college basketball. I think he's just an important voice, period. And it's I
don't know, man. He thought that the new Celtics hire was the first black coach in Celtics history. I don't know.
I mean, but like
and then he claimed that he got hacked.
Mm-hmm. People do dumb shit. Like Einstein had a bad day.
I just think Jay Williams isn't very good. But anyways, the whole thing with Rachel Nichols is just like, it's just, there's a whole, I think a lot of and I'm presuming because I'm white, so I don't have the perspective that a black person has. But I think that a lot of African American people feel like white people say something in public, and then behind closed doors, they say other things that don't go with what they say. For instance, if you're like a white girl on Instagram and you post 5 activism posts on your Instagram story every day, and then you date a boy who is racist and says the N-word, like, what are you doing? You know, those things, like, it's performative activism. And that is just a whole separate topic. I can't stand it when people that like I know are shady are like, and this happened a lot, like growing up in Catholic school, like the people that were like, I'm holy, like they're gonna go out and just do a line of coke the next night.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, there's a lot of different things going on, and like when the George Floyd stuff was happening last year, and like I went to the protest with my roommate Christine. You know, she's a black woman.
I went to a protest too.
And I, there were news trucks there, and like she said, like, I can't remember exactly the context of what it was, but like we were talking, I was like, if they come up to me, I'm not going to talk to them because like, this is not my moment. This is not for me to, this is not for me to be like Bo Burnham says it Inside, like, a white guy is going to be the hero and all that.
White woman, so great.
Exactly. And she looked at me and she said, no, but like, you might reach somebody that I couldn't. Like, if the people that need to hear it the most are more likely to listen to you than me. Like, use your privilege, use it for good. Like, and that's what, like, I think
mean what you say too.
Exactly. Use your privilege for good. Mean what you say. Be an ally. Be an advocate for your black friends. Be an advocate for Maria Taylor. Don't say Yas Queen in public and then behind her back say, oh, she's only there because there's a racial reckoning right now. Go fuck yourself. Like, seriously. Like,
Black lives matter unless they affect me is essentially what Rachel Nichols
exactly said. It's so easy to say like Black Lives Matter in public, and then when you're in like these board meetings and to say, well, she only got there because she's black. That's, be brave. Like, just chicken shit stuff that she did. Like, it, I believe at some point, like, people should learn from their mistakes, and Rachel Nichols should get a second chance eventually. But like, you got to learn, man. She's not learning right now. And like that's, and beyond that, like another point that I want to bring up, like, black women are traditionally the most well-educated, or at least right now, the most well-educated people in the workforce, but they're the least compensated for it. So like having someone who's as talented as and wonderful as Maria Taylor and saying she only got there because she's black, like, no, she's got the experience. She has the school behind it. Like,
yeah,
I think that it's a complicated issue, but like, mean what you say, man. Like, that's why, like, both of us will, I go out of my way to be the best person that I can be, to be the best advocate for black, brown, gay, lesbian, whatever. Cause like, I know, like, I'm a 6 foot tall white dude. When you look at me, you think Ron Howard and mayonnaise sandwiches, but like, use your power for good. Yeah, and I don't eat mayonnaise sandwiches, but that's just like that's like super white. Use what you have for good. Like it's not that hard, and I think that there's a lesson to be learned here. What do you think?
I mean, I think like all of our points have been said. Like it's just like it's bullshit to perform in a way that you're like, you know, like you said, like Maria Taylor is my friend, like she's my coworker, she's my friend, like I support her, and then to say, oh, well, she better not get to host the final because that's what I'm doing. I'm Rachel Nichols. I'm born.
That's not privilege. A friend. Like I'm sorry, that's not a friend. Like to talk shit about, like I don't do that to my friends. All my friends are incredibly talented, and I will champion them always. Like it's beyond me that like you say that you're friends with somebody and then you talk like I'm a 27-year-old dude. I don't have time for that shit. Like the world is man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, any final thoughts on the Rachel Nichols controversy before we should probably talk a little bit of basketball.
Yeah, I mean not too much. It's like I really think that she should get fired. I'm not here for the ESPN. Like I don't even really support ESPN in general. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm just not really here for it. So
I got you.
But anyways, there's more stuff that happened on ESPN last night. Like we said, kind of earlier in the show, the Phoenix Suns beat the Milwaukee Bucks 118-105. That's kind of the main thing we want to talk about today. The show isn't going to be too long because I don't think either of us have too much to analyze that hasn't already been said. Besides that, Chris Paul is the point god.
Yes, he is.
He was absolutely amazing. He was third on Phoenix and plus minus was plus 17. 32 points, 32 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds for the point guard. It was just an incredible performance, and I think Nikola Jokic was the 2020-2021 MVP, but this has been the season of Chris Paul. What do you think about that?
Yes. In fact, I think that the only like person that had a comparable season to Jokic was Chris Paul, like especially now. Like I think that Jokic fully deserved the MVP, but like you see what he's done, especially like the past 2 games. Like he had 41. Look, I said the exact same thing, man. Like look at that hair. Look at him. Look at him go.
Our dog just threw a tennis ball at my door and when
Henry wants to play.
Guards wanted to play.
Henry wants to play, baby.
Trying sat at the door. I kind of want to see it.
But like, it just feels like at this point, as Trey goes to pick up the ball at the door, this episode is wild. In
case you guys are late, rewind to the beginning of the show because we just started playing the guitar.
We started off singing. We talked about Rachel Nichols, basketball, Tennessee. Like this is what I love about the show. Like it can go anywhere. But yes,
it's literally just like whatever we want to do.
Exactly, which is what I love. I think that the way Chris Paul is playing right now, like I think the Suns are going to win. Like they deserve to win. They could do like quoting our favorite Nuggets villain, Suns in 4. Like if they play like that,
you see what Jamal did today?
Is it that big a deal? Like
it's just it's not that big a deal. It's just like imagine like when he was on Kentucky, if he then took a picture with the Louisville guy.
No,
like it's just like what? Like it just kind of feels weird.
Well, I think like that guy. What's it? I forget that guy's name. Like
Suns in 4.
Suns in 4. Yeah, I think the guys who came up to him kind of deserved it. Like they were asking for it. They kept on like pushing.
Guys were definitely in the wrong.
Yeah, like that was not a good situation. Like it's not a great situation to be in. Like that guy assaulted those guys, but like he was like defending himself.
Self-defense. Yeah.
It was so like that.
Anyways, going back to that game last night. I mean, I thought Phoenix played really well. They shot. Okay, let's see. They shot free throws. The Phoenix Suns shot 25 for 26 from the free throw line last night. That's outstanding. Whereas the Bucks shot 9 for 16. 26 free throws at 25 free throws at 26 attempts is the best. The Phoenix Suns have been the best free throw shooting team in the NBA playoff ever. They're the best playoff shooting team ever. Yeah.
What's their percentage?
I don't know in the playoffs. I heard it on a podcast today. That's how I know. But they were 25 for 26 last night. But 26 free throws is pretty incredible.
I remember last year when like they were like they didn't get in. Like I think this is an incredible story. Like to go from not making the playoffs to like basically like are favored to win the NBA Finals, and like I think like if Giannis like isn't at full strength, like they're winning. Like that, like they just are. Like they have everything that you need. They have Chris Paul, they have Devin Booker, they have DeAndre Ayton. They have a lot of great pieces around them. What was the center that got hurt yesterday? Savic. Sorry, yeah. And like that's not like he was out and they still won by almost 15.
He doesn't matter that much.
But yeah, you're right. But like, I mean, they just have so many pieces. Like their main core. Like, if they keep Chris Paul another year or two, I think that they could easily repeat. Like, if assuming they win, because
they won't easily repeat. They got lucky getting in the finals now.
Do what?
They got lucky getting to the finals now in regards to the injuries, but they still I think they're the third best team in the West. Like I think the healthy Lakers and the healthy Nuggets beat them, but like they still got to the finals. I think the Bucks aren't even the best team in the East. I think the Nets were better than them. The Nets didn't have two of their stars.
I think the Bucks just got lucky, honestly. Like
both teams got really lucky.
Yeah, and like I think there's a case to be made for like if the Bucks win, like that was like the Bucks did it the right way. Like with Giannis re-signed like after he thought about doing free agency and did the max deal. Then if he were to win the next season, I think that sends a great message. Like he won a championship with a not like Milwaukee's not a small city, but it's not like LA or New York or any other. Yeah. But like if he can do that, like I think that's a really, really cool story. I don't think it'll happen, but like I think that it would be interesting if it did.
Yeah, I basically just wanted to say like how amazing of a game Chris Paul had. When he shot 12 for 19, 4 for 7 from 3, 4 for 4 from the field, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, was a plus 17. Besides that, guys on the Suns that really stuck out to me. Jay Crowder only had 1 point, but he played amazing defense on Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. And Giannis, he was a plus 19 to lead the team, even though he had only 1.0 for 8 shooting, which tells you something. Besides that, everyone else on the Phoenix Suns offensively were plus 19, plus 14, plus 13, plus 17, plus 18. Whereas with the Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo was the only starter for the Bucks that had a plus rating, where at plus 1. So he came out there at 20 points, 17 rebounds, which is pretty incredible for a guy who had the knee injury that he had. all but 2 games ago. So it's pretty incredible performance from him, given that he was hurt. But overall, like, I still think the Suns will win in 6. Does this game alter your opinion of that series at all?
See, I made my prediction last night that the Suns would win by 9, based that Giannis wouldn't be in it. And now that he was, and they still won by 13, like,
by more.
Dude, I think Suns in 5 is not out of the realm of possibility. Or hell, Suns in 4. I hate saying that.
It's crazy because like Booker went 9 for 21 last time.
Yeah,
he didn't even shoot well.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing. Like if it's not Chris Paul one night, it might be Booker the next night, or it might be Ayton the next. Like that, you don't have to have all 3 of them be great. Like if you're winning with just one of them being great, and you're winning by almost 15 points, like the discrepancy is there, man. Like I think that the Bucks might, if they don't win the next game. If the Bucks don't win the next game, I think it'll be in Suns in 5.
Bucks had a really good home court, but besides that, yeah, it's tough.
It's hard. It's
one
really
little
hard
thing with basketball just happened. Kenny Atkinson, who was a former Brooklyn Nets coach, and he's an assistant for the Clippers. He was just hired for the Golden State Warriors staff.
Really?
Which is interesting, just because he was a name that was rumored for the Orlando Magic. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. But yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to analyze with that Suns game. I thought the Suns looked really good from the start. I mean, they had a lot of guys play really well. I'm still really impressed with DeAndre Ayton's game. I mean, he put up 22 and 19, which was just like that's great.
While
shooting 8 for 10 from the field,
and it didn't even feel like he had a great game. Like it just.
I thought he did.
Well, it didn't seem like
it felt like it to me just because of the rebounds.
I got you.
But then even guys like Cam Johnson came in, had 10 points, 3 for 6 shooting, some big defensive plays. Like the Suns, they just know how to play basketball, and Monty Williams was definitely snubbed for Coach of the Year. They're just a really awesome team to watch. They play the game the right way. Chris Paul also does a little bit of his antics in terms of like flopping and that sort of thing, but when in Rome.
Yes, when in. I mean,
in Phoenix.
It doesn't
win in
bother.
The Valley.
Win in the Valley, those jerseys are dope, by the way. Like I think that's
in the NBA.
Even better than Nuggets.
The red ones, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I compared the Nuggets had a tweet, and it said
the trilogy or whatever.
Yeah, and it was like what do you think? And I was like, these are like the sequel trilogy to Star Wars. You have 2 bangers, and then the last one was a very meh overall reaction. Most people didn't like it.
But like here's the like just like the Rise of Skywalker, I kind of like the red ones too. Yeah.
Somehow red returned. But anyways, well, I mean, that's kind of all I got. I don't have too much analysis. It's hard to talk too much about just one game. But anything else you wanna cover?
Do you want to talk about the potential of people? What was it? The different teams that are trying to trade. Thank you. I love the Rise of Skywalker as well, and I think that it gets way too much hate. But we'll talk about that on the Star Wars episode, because this is the basketball episode. Do you want to talk about the people possibly trading up for the number 1 pick?
I guess it's the Cavs, Thunder, Rockets. I guess Cade Cunningham is the best prospect in this draft. It makes sense. The guys are trying to trade up for him. If I'm the Thunder, I would just try to get Jalen Green. Maybe trade up not as much for him, because I think Jalen Green's the real deal. But if those teams want Cade Cunningham, I think it makes sense. It was the Cavs, the Thunder, I think it was the Wolves, maybe too.
The Rockets, the Rockets,
Rockets. The Pelicans. The Pelicans.
Which I think for the Pelicans, I think they just they know that Zion is not happy, and you do what you can to get up to that guy. But I don't know if they have the assets to do it. I think doesn't the Thunder have a bunch of first round picks the next couple
17.
of years? Yeah, they have 17,
18 now.
For how many years?
6.
Gee, so that's I think that's it.
They got 6 for Paul. They got 5 for Paul George.
Mm-hmm. So like
they got picks to get Chris Paul. They got 2 first-round picks to get Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook.
You see, I think that for me, the Thunder is the most exciting one because, like, and listen, I know I'm a Kentucky guy.
Cade went to Oklahoma State too.
I know.
You know?
It would make sense, and then like you match him up with a guy like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Kentucky guy, our BBN. What's up?
It'd be nice to have Cade not in the Denver Nuggets division, but that's that's it.
I mean,
but.
Yeah, the idea of those guys playing together, which Cade Cunningham, yes, in the SEC, it just means more, Nick. It just means more. Everybody knows. That's Cade Cunningham's also a guy that, like, if his brother had not been hired at Oklahoma State, he would have gone to Kentucky. So like that's a guy that like he's basically Kentucky. And that I'm going to cheer for. And I don't want to see him wasted with the Pistons. Because, it's the Pistons and they have Grant and Hamidou Diallo and that's it. So anyway, that's all I got on that. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's all I got too. So you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to.
Well, okay. Where can the people find you on the interweebs?
You can find me on the interweebs and the interdweebs at Star Wars Bill. Thank you for listening to my my bullshit, my BS. My initials are BS, so thank you for listening to that. And thank you for letting me talk about basketball, which is something that I love.
You guys can find me right here talking mainly Spider-Man right now.
Right, that's
the 2021 Trey. But hopefully my guy here pops up in a movie soon. So that's all I'll say. But yeah, thank you so much for following us or watching us. You can follow us on Twitter at SkywalkingTL. We have a basketball we have a Star Wars podcast as well. So make sure to check that out. Also shout out to Regan for posting that video today about the crocodile from Loki.
Alligator Loki, baby.
Love that. Also,
if you don't, if you're not already, our good friends at the Bombadcast, Scotty Jarrow is doing a Mario 64 live stream on their channel. So if you're finished with this, go watch Scotty play some Mario 64. I might play a little guitar while he's doing it too, which I know everybody will enjoy.
Serenading Scotty.
Serenading with Scotty. There it is. That's how we'll do the next time Scotty's on. So yeah, that's all I got.
He shreds too.
He does.
Well, thank you all so much for watching and talk to you later.